I would like to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and click subscribe. Hit the bell so that you can get a notification anytime new videos are posted. So guess what? We have another question. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I am asked questions and I simply answer those questions. So the question for today is, what are 3 good books that I would recommend for men to read? Okay? As a woman, yes, I was asked this, and guess what? I had 3 books. So let's get to it. 3 books that I recommended are Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, Emotions by T.D. Jakes, and The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. I will have the links to all 3 of those books down in the description box below. While I was initially shocked about being asked by a man what book I would recommend for a man to read, or the top 3 books, I still ironically had 3 books that I could pull up like off the top of my head. The reason why I recommended these 3 as my top 3 books is because when I read them, I noticed that they touched on very important aspects of not only human existence, but they were written from a man's perspective, and they were written by men who I felt had an ideal view and perspective of the world, one that is needed and very much missing today. So with Outwitting the Devil, that particular book by Napoleon Hill talks about the different struggles internally and externally that people face. Okay, a lot of the things that people don't necessarily like to address publicly, and so I definitely would recommend that book to any men or women who are just interested in having a different perspective on things that we take for granted. So the book Emotions by Bishop T.D. Jakes basically talks about the different emotional states and development phases that men go through that they don't necessarily want to talk about. And last and not at all least, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. I actually happened to pick it up over the last year. I remember either seeing or hearing Nipsey Hussle, or the late Nipsey Hussle, rest his soul, mention it in an interview back in 2018. And so this book apparently was recommended by his woman, and I checked it out, and I just totally fell in love with the book from the moment I started reading it. With all 3 of these books, I have gifted Emotions to someone, after reading it. I have not had the opportunity to gift the other 2 to relatives, and so it was an absolute thrill for me to finally have someone who was interested in reading actually ask me for recommendations. So I had those 3 books, already, in my mind if I ever had the opportunity to share those. And so guess what? As subscribers to this channel, you are now being recommended for those particular books. I think they are great books. I will also list some additional books below in the description section that I feel are great. They were not listed in the top 3, but I definitely will put a top 10 down. And if you have any questions about any of these books, please feel free to type in the comment section, like, share, subscribe, and tag anybody who you think would like these books. So to the gentleman who asked me for the recommendations, thank you for trusting me with your question, and I hope that these 3 books are as insightful to you as they were to me when I read them. However, I feel like because of the format and the perspective, I feel they would be greatly beneficial to a man who is willing to take the time to read them. So I hope my answer to your question was helpful, and take care and enjoy those books.